They said they wanted to increase meal tickets by 50 kobo. 50 kobo! Students lost it. Protests broke out. Riots. Who can afford an extra 50 kobo? Gunshots, dead students all over the country. This was the Ali Must Go riots. Let me tell you what happened. It was April 1978 and Nigerian universities were already struggling. Hostels were overcrowded, lecturers were underpaid, students were they barely had enough to eat. Then the military government announced a new policy. Meal tickets would now cost 2 naira per day instead of 1 naira 50 kobo. A 50 kobo increase. Hostel fees had also gone from 90 naira to 150. Students were expected to pay it all upfront. Now 50 kobo might sound small today, but back then, that was real money. Some students lived on 2 naira per week. A full plate of food could be like 60 to 70 kobo. That 50 kobo, it felt like punishment, especially from a government that kept calling education free. But it wasn't just about the food. Students were already frustrated. The student loan scheme had just been scrapped. Facilities were falling apart. The government was spending millions on things like Festac 77, ECOWAS games, international trade fairs. Meanwhile, students were sleeping 4 in a room, eating only once a day. So when that 50 kobo increase came in, it just felt like the last straw. The National Union of Nigerian Students, NUNS, they decided to fight back. Their president at the time was Segun Okeowo. He was calm, focused, very respected by students across the country. Nuns organized meetings in Calabar, Maiduguri, Ilorin. And then on April 17, they declared a nationwide lecture boycott. When that didn't really work, the protests moved to the streets from Unilag to Zaria, from Nsukka to Ibadan. The movement spread fast and everywhere students had one message: Ali must go. Ali must go. They were referring to Ahmadu Ali, the Federal Commissioner for Education. He was not the one that created the policy. It came from the Supreme Military Council under General Obasanjo. But Ahmadu Ali was the one defending it on national TV, telling students to understand the times. He became the face of the crisis, and students had just one message for him: Ali must go. At the University of Lagos, the protests turned deadly. Police opened fire. A student named Akintunde Ojo from the architecture department, he was shot in the leg. They quickly rushed him to Luth, then to Igbobi Orthopedic. Both hospitals reportedly refused to treat him. They said that he needed police reports. He bled out and he died. Then in Zaria, it was even worse. At the Ahmadu Bello University, soldiers opened fire again. 8 students were killed. Over 20 were injured. The military government responded fast and harsh. They shut down all federal universities. Some were closed indefinitely. Nuns was banned. Their accounts were frozen. Student leaders were arrested. Segun Okeowo, he was expelled from Unilag. It didn't stop there. Some lecturers who supported the students or refused to condemn them, they were also fired. They were accused of inciting unrest. A few journalists who published sympathetic stories lost their jobs too. The government wanted to make an example of anyone who stood on the students' side. But not everybody stayed silent. Gani Fawahimi, the radical lawyer, he openly defended the students, offered legal help, spoke up in court. He called out the military's violence. And Tai Sholaring, he backed the students with his pen. He published essays supporting their right to protest, even if it meant clashing with those in power. Everyone else, they stayed quiet. Despite all the chaos, the government never reversed the fee increase. Obasanjo stood firm. Years later, he said he believed that the protest was justified, but that the economy was hard and tough decisions had to be made. As for Segun Okeowo, after his expulsion, he completed his degree at University of Ife. He became an educationist and he passed away in 2014. The Ali Must Go protest, it remains one of the most important student uprisings in Nigerian history. It showed that students can unite across the country and challenge power, even under a military regime. It also changed the way student unions operated. From that point forward, student protests, they were not just about school, they were political. It laid the foundation for everything that came after, from ASU strikes to end SARS, to every time Nigerian students chant, "We no go gree." And to think all of this started with 50 kobo. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please follow me. I tell stories like this all the time.